Hello Aries, and welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am here for the predictive reading that we're going to be doing for you regarding the month of September 2024. So the way that this is going to go is we're going to look at some general energies, the block or challenge that you are going to be facing, a positive that you will come across, and also a main lesson that you have the potential to learn in the month of September. We'll also get some more in-depth information, so it's going to be a very interesting and insightful, hopefully very preparatory reading for you. And the way that I am aiming this is specifically towards the sun, rising and moon signs in that specific order. If you have any other placements in Aries that are important to you, then definitely, this reading could speak to you too, but those three are the main ones that I'm going to be focusing on. So yeah, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest as always, but let's jump straight into it. So we are starting off with your energy first and foremost, looking at what type of energy you're going to be in the month of September. Okay, interesting. So we got the Knight in reverse, and the energy that is around you in the month of September. What sort of energy is going to be around Aries in the month of September? Okay, interesting. This card was at the bottom of the deck for your energy, so that's interesting. And we have the yin yang at the bottom of the deck as well there. Okay, so let's get the energy for the month as well, and then we will talk about all of the cards. Okay, my dear Aries, let's get into this. So we have a very interesting energy coming out for you. This is, as I said, the Knight card, which upright looks like this. And this came out for you in reverse. And what this is telling me is that potentially you have been in a bit of a dark place, and it doesn't have to be like a very serious thing or anything like that, but it just seems like, maybe you have been struggling a bit to feel like enthusiastic about things that are happening around you, or even being able to make sense of what is happening around you. This also feels like being very deep in your emotional energies, or just feeling a bit like tied down to more like deep and mystical feelings. So, if some of you have been doing shadow work, or sort of, I know this is really like, because we are in the summertime, especially in the northern hemisphere here, but it almost feels like there has been either some soul searching, or just trying to sift through the areas of life that you don't really understand, or that have been tying you down somewhat. I feel like in the month of September you are going to be coming out of that. It's almost like you are leaving that dark, intrusive, more negative feelings and thoughts behind, and you're going to be sort of embracing the daytime again, tuning into more clarity almost. But this also makes me feel like, maybe you have been a bit more secretive, and in the last, in the past few months, or just recently, and sort of trying to keep some things to yourself, trying to keep some things hidden, maybe because they're just too difficult to talk about, or to express, or to share, or you just feel like they are not like anyone else's to deal with, that they are yours to deal with. Something like that is also coming through. So, it could resonate for some of you out there. But in any case, it seems like in the month of September, you are sort of, as I said, leaving that behind and coming almost to the surface is what I feel like. If you've been in the depths of some emotions, some feelings, some past experiences, just sort of trying to sift through a lot of unknown, a lot of mystical energy, trying to make sense of that, then if it feels like you are sort of starting to become a bit more active and a bit more determined again, because this feels very much like just sort of like taking a time out, or being somewhat being somewhat in a more like passive state almost. And I'm not saying that you haven't been doing things. Obviously you have been doing things, but it just seems like, like you haven't really been fully yourself. And that is going to be coming, to an end in the month of September. Now, the energy around you, which, as I said, also was the underlying energy for your own energy, is this solar system card here. And to me, this is a very divine card. This is speaking about like universal forces and fate and destiny sort of playing a part. And so it does seem like some sort of a very important cycle that you had to go through, most likely for your own personal development, or just because it was something that you were meant to experience. It seems to be a very, like, again, a very fated thing that is happening for you, a very fated change that is coming about. Remember also we had the yin yang at the bottom, right? So this is all about duality, all about the light and dark sort of being in constant like movement. And it seems like whatever this energy was or is that you have been in and that you are coming out of now in the month of September, it seems like that is meant to happen that way, or it's meant to sort of take you to a new place now. So hopefully this will come off as encouraging or comforting rather than like something that is not that nice to hear. But it seems like whatever is happening, just see it as something that is meant to happen. Like, like it's supposed to be that way. I'm going to leave it there. But we have this beautiful energy coming through as the general energy of the month for you. And this is all about movement and progress and, again, cycles of change. And so clearly you are coming to a place where things are starting to move along more rapidly. Things are starting to progress again. And it seems like you are being taken somewhere, like you are being led someplace that you are meant to get to. Now, I'm not saying that you are going to arrive in the month of September. This feels like I don't know, like the beginning of the journey or like the continuation of the journey, not necessarily the destination itself, but it definitely does seem like things are going to be starting to move along. And I feel like it's a very welcome thing for you as well, because as a fire sign, and especially as a cardinal fire sign, you don't do very well with sitting still or being in a time where things are maybe more quiet or things are not really moving, or you're sort of just forced to be in a bit of a like an introspective state, or sift through like these more dark, unclear feelings, emotions, thoughts, that type of thing. So this seems to be a very welcome change, definitely sort of bringing you back into your own element. And again, like things are going to be speeding up, and so things are going to get a lot more exciting than they have been. So hopefully that makes you, happy. So next we have this card here, which is talking about the sort of challenge or block that you are potentially going to be facing in the month of September. And this, I actually have like several messages about. So it seems like there is going to be a bit of a difficulty in like making sense of the changes that are happening. They could be happening rather quickly, which normally I feel like you actually do very well with with fast moving energy. That's your vibe. But in this instance, it seems like keeping up with it or being able to understand exactly what is happening when it's happening, that could be something that is a bit challenging for you. Also, I feel like the things that you have sort of learned and experienced in the past, and that has given you the knowledge base that you are working with, that could be something that is potentially like throwing some spanners in the works for you too. It almost feels like your past experiences or the knowledge that you have has the potential to like slow you down rather than move you forward. So it almost seems like there could be an element of like you getting in your own way a bit in the month of September. because of the sort of influence that you are, how should I say it? It just feels like, again, the things that you have been experiencing in the past, they seem to be like influencing the course of things now. And yeah, it seems to be causing some sort of like blocks or delays a bit. But like in general, I feel like you're not actually going to be able to slow the movement down. It just may make it a bit more difficult for you at times to sort of keep up the pace, or again, to like make sense of things. And that may be causing you some anxiety or just some unease when you feel like you are not in control of what is happening. And I also feel like, you know, if some of you feel that this like shadow work, if that's what you have been doing, if you have been, you know, trying to make sense of yourself and really like deal with some of your like inner demons or some fears or insecurities, or work through stuff like that, then it could be that some of you may feel tempted to like keep that going or like elongate that process somehow, whilst all of these like movements are starting to happen. But I feel like that is going to be somewhat difficult to maintain as well, because it's almost like, you know, some of you may be feeling like there is still some work left to do, or there's still something that has to be like finished for you to fully like understand things, or to fully be prepared for something, like for the next steps. But it almost seems like the universe is saying that you are ready, but you may not feel ready yourself, if that makes sense. So that could be a challenge potentially for some of you as well. Now we have this energy, which is like so interesting. I don't know what's going to be going down in September, but every single sign, like pretty much every single sign, has had some sort of a weird energy when it comes to the positive that they're going to be experiencing. It almost seems like something like challenging or like, you know, subjectively negative is actually something that is a positive. Hopefully that made sense. But anyway, so the energy that you are going to be experiencing that is a positive is this energy of like deceit or lies. And what this is telling me is that you're going to actually understand or see, like something is going to be revealed to you, which makes it so clear how something in the past was like really wrong for you, or it wasn't really what you thought that it was. So some sort of like misconception or like wrong idea of something is going to be made evident for you in the month of September. So it's almost like you're going to be able to see what was actually a masked or beautifully packaged piece of garbage. I'm sorry, that came out a bit like, you know, maybe not in the best way, but it really does seem like you are going to be getting this like veil that is going to be lifted off of your eyes, and you're going to be able to see the bullshit that was there for what it actually is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like that said it. And then we also have this main lesson that you have the opportunity to learn in the month of September. And we have this beautiful card of direction, of exploration, right? Of finding your true north. Yeah, I feel like there is a true opportunity here for you to actually like understand where it is that you want to go and how you want to get there, or like make sense of some sort of a direction. Again, it seems like you have been like swimming in these deep waters, which again, it's so like not you, Aries. It's so not your vibe. It feels a lot more like watery in nature, almost like Scorpio energy, or almost like, yeah, maybe even Piscean energy, like that type of thing. And it seems like you have really been struggling there, or it hasn't been the easiest for you, but now it seems like you are coming out of it, and you actually have the opportunity to like really set the course for where you truly want to go. It almost feels like life is like opening up to you again, and opportunities and possibilities are opening up to you again, and you are sort of getting the chance to become excited and to become like enthusiastic about the possible areas that you can explore and the possible things that you can experience, the newness of life, right? So yeah, very interesting energies, Aries, I do have to say. But let's look at the potential outcomes of all of these things, where these areas can potentially lead you. So we have this Buffalo card coming out first, which is such a beautiful card. And this is speaking about the potential outcome for the general energy of the month for you. And so this is like one of the most powerful cards in this whole deck. This always makes me think of the Tower card because of obviously the lightning in the sky, right? So this almost seems to be, again, it feels like a divine intervention that you are being sort of led to, and it feels like you are, you know, being taken to a place where you have the opportunity to actually like enhance your personal power and take it to even greater levels, to ascend in some way. And I almost feel like it's not just like a physical ascension that you're going to be going through, but it also feels like a spiritual ascension. Like you are going to be reaching some sort of you're going to be elevated in some way. And yeah, it's almost like it's going to make you an even more powerful presence, just being really really confident in where it is that you are being led. So again, even though in the process it may be a bit difficult to make sense of things, to make sense of the journey, but I feel like ultimately this whole change, this whole movement is taking you to a really like grounded and magical place. And again, I definitely feel like divinity is playing a part in this. Now, we also have the cheetah coming through as the potential energy or the potential outcome for the main challenge that you're going to be going through. And so basically, as I said, it could be difficult for you to like make sense of things, right? But I feel like it is actually going to be bringing you a lot of this like fire and driven energy. This cheetah actually feels a lot like your energy, Aries. It seems to be very closely tied to your archetype. And so it almost seems like it is going to like propel you into, you know, towards the destination that you need to go, and really like light a fire up your butt. That's what it seems like. So, you know, even though, as I said, even though it feels like there could be some difficulty in like making sense of things, I feel like ultimately you would just get this sense or this surge of power, this surge of emotion, and this surge of motivation to take you to like where you need to go, if that makes sense. So it's almost like it's giving you a laser focus as well with this cheetah energy here, like having your eyes set on a goal and just like going after it without any like distractions or anything like that. And so it's again, I feel like this challenge of making sense of it is only temporary, and you will understand it down the line. And and sometimes I feel like it's almost like you don't necessarily need to understand like the reasoning behind a calling or something just like pulling you towards it, or feeling very driven to go somewhere, to do something, to change something. Sometimes you just need to trust the feeling, and then when you get there, you sort of understand what it was all for, or why it all played out so magically and beautifully. But sometimes the inclination or the urge that like propels you towards something, that pulls you towards something, it doesn't actually rationally make sense while you are experiencing it. So just, you know, pay attention to that, or bear that in mind, that it may not make sense to you. But anyway, we also have the Fox card here, and I love that came out with the positive, as I said, you know, that makes you sort of realize what was actually a lie, or what actually wasn't working or wasn't right for you in the past. And with the Fox card here, that is especially true, because the Fox is very much known for its, wittiness, its smartness, I don't know whether that's a word, but anyway, the fox is a very intelligent animal, and so also very strategic, right? And so I feel like, again, this knowing, this understanding is going to be coming. You're going to have this realization of like why something didn't work out in the past, or why you were sort of led into this like darker tunnel to begin with, and then maybe possibly taken in another direction, or why this like slow down energy was even necessary to begin with. And again, you know, foxes are very, very well known for their slyness as well. And so, yeah, I feel like there is a double message here of understanding why something possibly seemed to be right for you at first, but why actually it isn't that aligned with you, or where you truly want to go, what you truly feel called towards. So yeah, just a lot of understanding and a lot of clarity that is going to be coming from all of this, all of these changes that you are going to be experiencing. And finally, we have the elephant, which I love for you as well, because this is a very spiritual card here. And especially with the whole like compass or direction energy being something that you have the potential to learn, I feel like what this is saying is that you really can come out of this situation in a very like sure-footed manner, or having your path lit up for you, actually understanding and seeing clearly where it is that you need to go, what it is that you need to do. And it can be something, as I said, it can be something that like almost takes you by surprise, something that you wouldn't, that you didn't even imagine before, that you didn't think would be something that you want to do, or it could be something that like almost comes out of the blue for you. So something unexpected, but I feel like it is something that you are definitely meant to be doing. And again, I feel like it is all tied to why like this slowdown, or yeah, this energy of like going through some more like introspective energy, or that like time period where maybe things were a bit more slow. I feel like that's why that was necessary, you know, so that you could like slow down from whatever course you were on before, or whatever it is that you were doing before. But I do want to clarify this as well quickly before we move on to the last part of the reading. So I want to clarify this energy that you're going to be in the month of September. Wow, that was so powerful. Okay. Yeah, we have the Page of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, no less. So, yeah, definitely a lot of clarity coming through here. Some sort of truth that was being, that is being illuminated to you. But, yeah, with the Page of Pentacles, it just feels like you were meant to learn something. You were meant to discover something that is very, very important. It's almost like a seed for the future that you are going to be planting as a result of going through this more like, yeah, this more like hidden or more confusing period, this slowdown period. It seems like it was supposed to teach you something or make you realize something, as I said. So yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. So now let's move on to the last part of the reading, which is advice from Spirit on how to deal with all of these different areas that you are going to be experiencing. So let's see. So we have this beautiful King of Cups coming through here. I'm going to show it to you the way that it is depicted upright first, but this came out in reverse. This is a card of Scorpio. So as I said, and it's so funny because as I said, it does feel like the energy that you have been in has been somewhat like scorpionic in nature rather than like your own Aries energy. But with this coming out in reverse, what this is saying as advice for dealing with the sort of the main energy, the general energy of the month, it feels like Spirit is saying to embrace all of the different emotions that are going to be coming up for you, because it's absolutely normal. It is okay to feel like, you know, like things may be sort of moving a bit quickly, or things are a bit out of control, and they can obviously have an effect on you. They can obviously influence you and your emotions and your sort of sense of security and all of these things. So I feel like the advice here is to allow those to happen, and to not try to like suppress what it is that is coming up for you, or to hide it away somehow. I feel like the emotions in and of itself also have a lot of insight to give you, and you could glean a lot of information from those. But also, because the King of Cups is coming out in reverse, I also feel like this is again almost like a connection back to that scorpionic energy, and saying that, you know, it's really time to like come out of that dark bubble now, or come out of the waves, right? And sort of leave that behind, because you have done what you need to do, and now it's time to move forward. Again, even if it doesn't wholly make sense to you, just sort of, you know, trust that you are going where you need to go. And I feel that especially with the Six of Wands here coming out as advice for dealing with the challenge, right? And so again, this is especially with this cheetah energy too, it is making me think of like trusting your instincts and trusting your feelings more, trusting that passion in you, rather than trying to, as I said, like make sense of it rationally or overthinking things. Because this is basically saying that like success is guaranteed, and you are going to get to a place of like joy and satisfaction and achievement. And so, you know, just trusting that you are going to get there, even if, as I said, in the moment, it feels like you don't really know why you are being pushed in that direction, or why you feel called to go after something, or why you feel called to make certain moves or to make certain decisions. I feel like your impulses are actually going to be, again, like very significant. They're going to talk to you very clearly in the month of September. And so I feel like it's important to listen to what it is that you are feeling and where the passion is sort of taking you. Now, we also have this Three of Swords that came out in reverse, but again, I'm showing it to you upward, or upright first. And this is advice for, you know, dealing with the positive that is coming up for you. And as I said, this is a rather controversial positive maybe, but what this Three of Swords coming out in reverse essentially is saying is to, you know, not get stuck in like beating yourself up over what you feel as has been like a mistake, or what was wrong for you in the past, and sort of indulging what was wrong for you, or going along with it as long as you did. It feels like the main thing here is to just embrace the lesson that it taught you, and to really remind yourself of, like, again, like how it was potentially necessary so that you could end up where you need to go to. So rather than, again, dwelling on like the mistakes or feelings of like failure, or feelings like just disappointment that things didn't work out the way that you wanted them to, or seeing something that, you know, as like an illusion or a lie or something like that, rather than seeing it that way, try and refocus your attention or your perspective on the lesson, the valuable knowledge that you gained from it, that is going to, again, make you a lot like smarter and a lot more well prepared for things in the future. And finally, we have this Queen of Swords coming through, which is a card of Libra. And this again came out in reverse. So what the advice here is that, especially when it comes to the main lesson that you have the ability or the chance to learn, this is saying to, again, not overthink things, and to sort of relinquish control a bit. Because again, I feel like I feel like letting go of control and letting go of not being in the driver's seat could be something that is potentially really difficult for you, because you are used to like starting things, you are used to initiating things, you are used to going after what it is that you want, right? Because you are being ruled by the planet Mars. So taking action and being in that sort of masculine energy and sort of just taking what it is that you want, essentially, that Mars-like energy is something that comes like so naturally to you that it may be difficult to tune yourself out of that and be in that more like receptive and sort of going with the flow and allowing things to like lead you or show you the way. That might be a bit difficult, but again, with the Queen of Swords here coming out in reverse, I feel like Spirit is very clearly saying to not allow your mind to get in the way and to not start doubting things, you know, especially with things like opening up to you or new opportunities coming out, or even, as I said, if a new path or a new passion emerges like seemingly out of nowhere and you feel called to pursue something that you have never even considered before, don't try and like talk yourself out of it, because I feel like that could be something that is a potential here, but just rather like, again, follow the feelings. I feel like that is so important for you for the month of September, Aries. Follow the feelings rather than the like mental chatter or the thoughts or the doubts and trying to like analyze things. So yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it here. I hope that this reading was insightful and that it was useful for you. And if you happen to come back to look at it in the month of September, I would really love to hear whether something resonated for you. You can leave me a comment letting me know that something resonated or that something didn't resonate. Also, leaving me a thumbs up would let me know that you enjoyed this and that you want to see more from me. And of course, subscribing to my little channel would help me keep this little channel going and doing more readings for you guys. So yeah, I would love to hear from you. That would make me so happy, but I really appreciate you spending this time with me, and I hope that you have an amazing September. If I don't see you in any of the other readings for September, your rising moon, any of the other signs too, then just take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon in one of my next readings. Bye-bye.